I love you so much, my blueberry muffin. I love you too, my Popeye's biscuit with no drink. Nah, jit, tripping. Bro, ain't no way. Can you do that cute thing you did for me earlier? You mean this? Ow! Oh, you're so hot when you do that. Bro, can y'all take y'all weird ass somewhere else? Y'all been doing this for 2 hours now. Babe, you're gonna let him talk to us like that? Get away from us. Bro, I'm not scared of you, bro. I'm just saying, y'all keep doing that weird stuff, bro. Like, y'all can't take that somewhere. Get away from us. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't know what you're doing with your hands, but I want no parts of that, okay? But hey, y'all keep doing you, okay? Do you. Nah, jit weird as hell. I'm gonna leave their ass alone. That's crazy.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I don't know. Can alters in the headspace date as long as everyone is enthusiastically consenting? And yes, it's not uncommon. We have 2 couples in our system. It actually helped one alter a lot. He was sad a lot of the time and fell in love with another alter and was finally able to cry it out. It's actually pretty convenient to date other alters in the system because it's not easy. Finding another system IRL or having multiple partners for different alters is tricky. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to know any systems in the comments, like, opinions on this. Me realizing that in the months leading up to the FNAF movie release, there's probably gonna be more fakers with FNAF Fictives. Today, we are going to be discussing more people who unfortunately have been directly affected by fakers. And one of these fakers was an ex. So for context, me, a 16-year-old female, and my ex, a 16-year-old male, were friends for 6 years. He faked many disorders before. The first was Tourette's. He'd claim to have it while he would only ever have motor tics, never vocal, which if you know anything about Tourette's, you need both. I believed him because I was a naive 10-year-old who'd been going through a traumatic time with my family. This stopped as soon as people stopped giving him attention for it. Next was DID. He has never gone through anything severely traumatizing, ever. He would switch in incredibly hard to watch ways. He'd use pic crews to make pictures of his alters, which were all attractive queer people, which in my opinion is a red flag. And he developed new alters every week. He even tried to convince me that I had it and gaslit me into thinking that I did, to the point where my parents spent thousands of dollars on getting tested, only to find out that no, I did not have it. And then it was ADHD. He'd do normal things like bouncing his leg occasionally or getting distracted by something interesting and claim his ADHD was acting up. He's the only one in the family who doesn't have it. How do I know? Because he was assessed. He still claims to have it and that the system is transphobic. Then it was schizophrenia. And as soon as I told him what the meds I take were for, he said, oh, I have that. He would do horrible things to people and blame it on the voices. He made these awful crying noises. He wasn't crying, I've seen it before, and say they were tormenting him. He got assessed and lo and behold, lies. This is when I finally dropped him. Now it's autism. He looks at me weird during violent meltdowns and claims to be severely autistic. He doesn't have any symptoms from what I've observed over the years. I've never seen any sensory issues, verbal problems, stimming, or anything. He still tries to guilt trip me, saying that I am ableist for leaving. What? I have ADHD, autism, and psychosis. Sorry I didn't like you mocking things that hold me back on a daily basis because it's aesthetic. In one of these messages, he claimed his dad wouldn't pay for more assessments. Proud of you, Jay. Don't fall for your son's So he was stuck self-diagnosing and wanted my opinion. I honestly told him I don't think that you're autistic, and he got mad. He got mad, but at least he stopped bothering me. While it's true that a lot of people can experience things that might be related to specific disorders like ADHD, if you bounce your leg or fidget, you're not hurting anyone if you do that and you don't have ADHD. But when it comes to blaming things on ADHD when you're not diagnosed, it can be quite desensitizing and offensive to other people for the disorder. You can fidget or tick or do pretty much anything like that to relieve stress, but it's a different story when you claim to have an entire disorder connected to it. Honestly, it seems like these people were kind of on different paths in life, and maybe it wasn't the worst thing to happen in this person's life to stop being friends with them. throwaway because this person might know my main account and I just want to be safe. This person is in one of my classes this semester, and I don't know why, but I can just kind of tell that it's fake. I was sitting in the cafeteria at university after class, and one of my friends and this person see me and they ask if it's okay to sit with me. I was going to get my food and go and was just waiting there, but that isn't important. I had forgotten the other person's name, which I do often, to be honest. I say, hey, my name is blank. What's your name again? I'm so sorry. We're at other ends of the classrooms and I'm bad with faces and names, you know? Being respectful and shit. They hold out their hand and say, oh, my name is Anthony, but right now I'm Paul. I guess I thought it was a middle name that they were going by, and they were telling me the name that they were referred to in class. So we're all talking about our major, and I mentioned that I'm changing mine soon. I asked them their major. Oh, I'm a soc major, but Paul and Christopher are astronomy. We're all studying that because we're an inhuman anomaly. That's when it clicked. I kind of sat there speechless for a moment before my friend kind of said, oh, wait, are you Chris now? And they go, oh, yeah, my apologies. I sort of sit there, but luckily my name is called, in which I grab my food, so I use listening out for my sandwich as an excuse. I sit there and eat my sandwich and listen to this person go on about how they aren't human. Being the respectful person I am, I decided to go and just listen and not say anything about it. What felt like hours, literally 10 minutes, I look at my phone and make an excuse to go. This person still tries to talk to me after class, and I 100% do not feel comfortable with it. At least I'm switching out my old major and will probably not have to deal with them again. You read about these people and see them online, but you never for a second believe you'll actually meet one of them in person. An inhuman anomaly. I mean, what are they getting at there? Because I wasn't sure if they were like, DID is this fantastical disorder in which you're an inhuman anomaly. I really don't know. I don't think that's it. The thing about this is that there's no conclusive evidence that this person is faking, right? I mean, how could you possibly tell if someone is faking over a 15-minute conversation? I'm not gonna be all holier than thou and be like, well, if I was in this situation, I would have been more empathetic and understanding. I mean, because the reality is that I don't know that I would approach a situation assuming that someone is faking unless it was clearly obvious, which this person does give a few context clues. I don't know. The reality is that OP has every right to not want to be friends with someone, obviously. I don't know. This person seemed to be very aware of their alters at a very young age, knowing what different ones would study. But again, I do know a lot of valid young systems, so you can't quite cross it out for that. And also, if you've never met a faker in real life or a person with real dissociative identity disorder in real life, how do you know if someone is faking? My old friend group was a dumpster fire of fake disorders. There are two main perpetrators. I call them my disorder giver and disorder hoarder. DJ and DH for short. DH doesn't come in until later, but from my freshman year of college, I lived with a group of people that I refer to as the Fuckle Clucks. DJ lived a couple rooms down from me my freshman year, and then sophomore year began dating my roommate, so they were always around. DJ diagnosed everyone with everything. They also have self-diagnosed autism because they stim and have severe PTSD and apparently debilitating ADHD and severe dissociations. DG also suffered from Anna, but made it such a big deal that another friend who also suffered from an ED wasn't allowed to ask the Fuckle Clubs for help without triggering or being insensitive to DG. DG diagnosed my friend with ADHD because she is forgetful, and now the Fuckle Clucks all say that she has ADHD. I was able to tolerate DG until DH came into the picture. DH absolutely ruined the friend group. DH also has self-diagnosed autism, ADHD, and DID. They found out they had DID when they smoked weed for the first time. Their DID, according to them, is like having a group of people or alters in your head and all trying to take control and communicate with each other and have their own style and personality, which is textbook faking inside out style. In the group, there were 3 people who were actually diagnosed with autism and ADHD, as well as someone diagnosed with a dissociative disorder but not DID. DH convinced the entire friend group to turn against the actually autistic people for displaying actual symptoms of autism. Now, all of the actual autistic people suffer with social cues, and whenever they made a mistake around DH would flip out and call them dense for not understanding what they did wrong and convince everyone to cut contact with that person. One person, DH, convinced everyone to report him to the university because he would harass and be inappropriate to them. He literally struggled with social cues and sometimes made distasteful, edgy jokes. He was also the only non-liberal of the group. That all started because he said something quote-unquote not woke around DH in his own apartment, and when DH started screaming at him, calling him a POS, he kicked them out, which then made DH play the victim. I'm glad that I left that friend group because it's now fallen apart to playing who has the most pity points out of everyone. Also to note, everyone in that group is in their 20s. This is a college friend group at a high-rated university, and they still act like children. Has anyone ever known a faker in real life? That would be very interesting. Thank you so much to each and every one of my members. I appreciate each and every one of you every single day. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.